Hey, good morning and welcome back to the Murphy Table. I'm going to talk to you about another Battlegroup Kursk goodie that I came up with. I told myself that I would go on to Boardgame Geek and get the name of the person who put these data cards together, and I completely forgot to do it. So please understand, this is not something that I created. These data cards are actually from a user on Boardgame Geek. So if you go to boardgamegeek.com and look up the Battlegroup Kursk game page on that website, in the files section you'll see that these data cards are available, and I believe you can find them like on Scribd and probably a couple other places by now, but this is where I originally found them. And these are great because you might be saying, well, why do you need a data card? Well, I love data cards for games. Like, for example, Panzer 2nd Edition by GMT Games has a data card with a phenomenal amount of information on it. That way you don't have to flip through rule books and references to find what you need. Everything you need is on a data card. Same with like Old School Tactical. Again, that's not a miniatures game, it's a tabletop war game, you know, hex and counter, but again the units have data cards, so the units will have some information on them, but then again there's more detailed information on the separate data cards. So again, you don't have to go flipping through rule books to look up special rules and stuff. It's on the data card. Barbarossa, the World War II game from Zvezda, that's a combination of board game and miniatures. They have data cards too, and we can talk about their data cards because they're pretty unique and awesome. But what we have for the miniatures game, Battlegroup Kursk, this is not the first miniatures game that has data cards. So there's Battlegroup World War II, they have data cards. The Panzer miniature game done by Jim Day, who does the board game as well, he has data cards. So there are games out there that use data cards. So why are data cards important? Well, when you have the rule book, and let's see, I wonder if I can zoom this out a little bit more. Yeah, so you can see the data card sheet. We'll come back to the data card sheet that I have here in a moment. But when you're taking a look in the rule book, with Battlegroup Kursk, the gun data, let me show you here. Let's find some. I think this just goes right into the army list. There it is. So, for example, you're going to have the vehicle data, and it will tell you, the name of the vehicle, movement speed, armor ratings, and the weapons that it carries. Organized very nicely. And your main gun, so for example, here's a Panzer IV F1 model. It says it uses a 75mm L24. Great, glad to know it. But what does that mean? Well, then you have to flip over here to the gun section. Welcome to the gun show. And then right over here, then you go through the gun data, and you can find out the specifics of that main gun. It's the type of ammo it shoots, the high explosive effects, the AP value at different ranges. So the information is all here. And then just to simplify things, down in the appendix, all that information is repeated. So if you know where to look, you can find the information you need rather quickly. In practice, though, it's kind of a hassle because I'm continually having to pull the rule book out to look up data because I don't have everything memorized. So even though I play a lot of games, which is mostly Panzer IVs and T-34s, I still forget, whose value is what. And so I'm looking through the book. Again, not too bad because I know where to look. It's just a hassle that I have to keep pulling the book out and then cross-referencing that data with the quick reference sheet to find out my to-kill values and whatnot. So very cool in practice, but not always the most practical when you're trying to speed things along. And speed nowadays is pretty important because when you have games like Bolt Action where a lot of your values are easily memorized, and then the modifiers to hit numbers and things are also easily modified, people tend to shy away from the more slightly more simulated game because there's more values that you're dealing with. So that's why these data cards are amazing. So you're going to have the name of your vehicle, and then your movement rates. There's armor values. Well, these don't have necessarily a bunch of armor values because these were like troop transports and stuff, but it'll have the weapon data. So what I did was I printed these out. I did make them double-sided, and I put them in sheet protectors, and then I put them in a binder. So then when I played, and I was playing some games with my son, it was much easier to find what I needed because all the information's here. I don't have to flip through 2 different sections of the book. I just look at the vehicle in question, and then everything I need to know about that vehicle is there. But I actually found that even this is kind of a hassle at times too, because my binder, I'm constantly flipping through my binder between the quick reference sheets and then the vehicle data. It works. It's much better than having to go through the book all the time. But I was thinking, you know, what can I do that's even better? Well, most games, their data cards are individually printed. They're not attached on a sheet. You know, they might come in a sheet, but you can cut them apart, and then you just have the one vehicle you want right in front of you. So I cut these out, and they fit perfectly in these card protectors. And now, because they were on paper, you know, paper's pretty flimsy, what I did was I just took an old card from a game I don't play anymore. This is a Legend of the Five Rings. Don't be offended if you play Legend of the Five Rings. This card is going to good use now, so it's, you know, not being trashed. It's put to good use, and that just gives some rigidity here. And what I did was I just took the ones I'm going to use the most, and I prepped them up. So I have my SU-152 on one side and the SU-122 on another side. So how is this more convenient than having everything on a sheet? Well, what's cool is if I play a game, and if I'm just, you know, doing a quick game with my son, I can easily just say, well, I'm going to play with my 2 platoons of T-34s and an SU-122. This is all I need to have out now. Now, I don't have to keep flipping through the binder. I don't have to keep searching through the pages of that binder and look through the 9 vehicles to find the one I'm after. The one that I'm after is right here on the table. So now when we play, we actually have less reference material out. I can pretty much play the entire game now with just the quick reference sheet and these awesome data cards. Now, I'm not saying, you know, you should just go get the data cards and, you know, get the quick reference sheet and then play the game. You know, no, buy the book because the book explains how to do everything. It's just that for those who are already playing, this is a great way to speed up what you're playing and how you're playing. Fewer resources that you have to have out and be flipping through. These are amazing because every time I need something, like I said, I just got a handful prepared, but when my son plays, if he's got, like, he loves his Tiger tank. So let me find, where did I put it? This card right here. Pretty much my son loves his Stugs and his Tiger tank. So I have one card with his Tiger tank on one side and all his Stug 3G data on the other side. And so when I'm shooting at him, I can just say, hey son, what's your Tiger's side armor? And then boom, he can just look real quick, it's a J. And then he just sets it down and we go back to playing. So these are phenomenal. I would say if you're playing Battlegroup Kursk, because I don't know if anybody has put together data cards for Fall of the Reich or Blitzkrieg. I haven't really looked into those. Just Battlegroup Kursk has been my favorite game. So I'm fortunate that someone put data cards together for these. But this has immensely increased my enjoyment of the game. A little thing like that, little data card that you print, cut, stick in a thing, and now all the information I need is here. I still got my book off to the side when I need it, but this is just so much more convenient. So this is one of my hobby projects that I would highly recommend that you can do as well. And then if you are playing any other miniatures game, if they don't have data cards but you have to keep looking at stat blocks, this is a good way to go. Put it on a card, print it out, and then that's one less book you have to carry around. Just print out the information you need. And this is no different than, say, the players who play bolt action and they use that army builder and they print out, because the army builder printout includes all the line stat information you need for your infantry. It has all the special rules explained down at the bottom. So this really isn't that much different. So yeah, I would recommend anybody who's going to play a miniatures game that has stat blocks, make yourself these little data cards and you will have a much smoother and more enjoyable game experience. So thanks for checking it out, and we'll talk to you later.